Oh, right. I was thinking I could come over if you don't mind. I just fancy a roast. Rita paused for a moment. I'd like to say yes to your love, but don't worry. Not enough to go round. Well, that and well, Mel's here. Anne dug her nail into the graze on her thumb. Come for his lunch most Sundays, does he? She knew it was the wrong thing to say as soon as the words were out. Rita was quick to react. No, but he's been to see his daughter and grandson a lot more than you have. I want to come now, don't I? Well, I didn't know that. You wouldn't want to be here with him anyway, would you? No, I fucking wouldn't. Well, there you are then. What can I do? You just think he's some fucking saint and I'm the only one that fucked up. Anne heard her voice scudding away from her. And Julie thinks the sun shines out of his fucking hole. If she knew what it was like when she was little. Her mother interrupted, hard and quiet. She don't, Anne, but I do. And I also know that it was me that looked after her when you was off sticking yourself full of that shit. So don't start. Anne was silent. She heard her own breath in the handset. A train rumbled along the viaduct above her. Go on then. Got any more? Said Rita. The baby cried in the background. No, Mum. Right then. Bye. Anne thumped the wall of the phone box. Everything was clenched. Her throat was tight. She tried to slam the door as she left the box, but the spring insisted on closing it slowly. Mel must be sitting down at her mother's table now, his fists tight around a knife and fork, a napkin tucked into his shirt, his heavy jaw steadily chewing through the meat. While she stood here alone, under the railway arch, not sure where to go. The noise of a massive empty lorry drove her out, fiercely picking at the hem of her coat. She wanted a fix, and had to shake her head and mutter no out loud. She was beyond that now. She turned into Crossfield Street, her gaze lowered to the patches of old cobbles appearing where the tarmac was wearing away. She slowed down. There was a bench ahead. She could sit down there and calm herself. It was on the edge of a green space that was crisscrossed oddly by humps and half walls, left over from before the war, she always supposed. Beyond it was the white church where she'd been married to Mel. Kathleen, Mel's sister, and her oldest friend, had been bridesmaid. That had been the best part, her and Kathleen in their dresses. She looked up at the church tower, its columns and scrolls rising above the uglier buildings around into an almost irresistibly sharp needle. The intricate gold clock below it always surprised her by telling the right time, and as she looked, the bell began to chime. When she looked down, she saw someone else was sitting on the bench. An old woman in a dark grey woolen skirt and shawl, a grey bag placed beside her. She was bent over slightly, and what looked like a white sheet was spread across her lap. Anne's step faltered. She could not work out where this person had appeared from. The woman glanced up as she passed, and Anne, attracted by the clean, open face and wave of white hair, allowed herself to smile and nod. But rather than returning her smile, the woman's face tightened in shock, and she clutched at the edges of her shawl. Anne saw something drop from her hand and bounce onto the ground, leaving a twisting trail behind it. Turning her head back, Anne saw that it was a reel of white thread. The woman made no effort to pick it up, but stared open-mouthed as Anne walked away. Anne shook her head again, wondering why she had bothered coming back to Deptford. She reached the junction with the high street and turned back into the churchyard, where there were more benches among the graves and rose bushes. She'd always found a little peace here. When she'd rowed with her mother, or Mel, or Kathleen, she would come and sit on the stone caskets, or, most often, on the curved steps under the church's semicircular porch. Now, as she lowered herself onto the top step, she heard the swell of voices from the service on the other side of the doors. The hymn's tune was familiar.